our instructor for today. Our instructor is Joe DeCarlo. He's a certified property manager and certified commercial investment member, counselor of real estate CRE. He is licensed in California and in New York, and he's the managing partner of JD Property Management in Costa Mesa. Joe achieved his MBA from Syracuse University. As a managing partner, Joe is responsible for over 3,000 residential units and 500,000 square feet of commercial space. Joe is also on the national faculty for the Institute of Real Estate Management, IREM, and he has been an adjunct professor of real estate at Coastline Community College since 1977. Joe has been an IREM chapter president, national committee chairman, and recipient of the prestigious IREM National LUM Award for outstanding contributions to the property management profession. He is currently the chairman of the Southern California chapter of Counselors of Real Estate and past president of both the Orange County Commercial Association of Realtors and Coastline College Foundation. Joe remains a member of the board of directors for the Coastline College Foundation and Los Angeles Mental Health Association and Community Housing Resources, both nonprofit organizations. He received an honorary degree from Coastline Community College for his outstanding contributions to the community. Most recently, Joe was honored as a finalist for the 2003 Ernst & Young Entrepreneur Award. Mr. DeCarlo is the author of several books, including Property Management in California, now in its 11th edition. And Joe asked me to let you know that you may purchase one of his books after the class. It's available. It's now being used, that book is being used in over 40 colleges. Joe is an owner himself of over 150 units, so he speaks not only as a professor but also as a real estate professional and also as an investor. Please give a nice warm welcome to your instructor, Joe DeCarlo.
We still have this on, I believe.
I just pushed it off. It's red when it's off.
You know what? I don't even think I need it because we're all pretty close here. I remember when we used to have 100 people here. Okay? So, I'm really pleased that you're here today because in tough economic times, sometimes people don't take classes, they don't become better educated, and then they're not successful. This, more than any time, is when you have to take classes, find a specialty in order to survive in real estate. I've been in the business over 30 years. This is the worst I have ever seen it. And I'm going to tell you today, we ain't there yet. Okay? Rather than jokes, I thought I would just kind of go through some stuff about the jobs, and Nick talked about the stimulus bill. I did a talk here in August, I think it was August 17th, and I predicted that we were in a recession because we had 7 consecutive months of job losses in the United States. That was before everybody was on the bandwagon saying we're on a recession. We have now had 12 consecutive months of job losses. And the amount of the job losses are getting worse. And that doesn't include January, which has figures haven't come out yet, but that will be another disastrous month. So we have not hit bottom. My feeling is the most important thing in our economy is jobs. If people don't have a job or they have a fear they're going to lose their job, they're not going to buy a house, they're not going to move up to a nicer apartment, they're not going to buy a car, they're going to procrastinate on most of their purchases. That's what needs the economy to go. When I look at the new stimulus bill, only 30% of that is for new jobs. The rest of it is kind of poor. Like they're going to give California something like $30 billion, and New York $25 billion to pay for their state budget deficit. That's not creating jobs. We need to create jobs. I hoped when we had a new president that, because in his campaign he says, jobs are the key. But he hasn't shown me anything. He's just like the rest of them. Same old, same old. We need jobs. We need jobs here in the United States. And what we need to do is to create jobs. And if we have to pay money to do that, we'll do that. We need to build more roads. We need to redo the bridges. Those are good paying jobs. Very little of that is in the stimulus bill. We don't need to give people $15,000 to buy a brand new home, which they can't afford in the first place that they're going to default on. We don't need any new homes. If the home builders took a hiatus for another year, that would be a good thing, because we have like 36 months supply of unsold new homes. So, unfortunately, here in real estate, I don't think we're close to the bottom yet. I heard people talk about early 2010. I would think, 2011 at the earliest. But it all depends on jobs. We need to get jobs created. Every time I look in a paper, all I see is jobs that are being eliminated. Caterpillar, 20,000 jobs. That's a lot of jobs. In my hometown of Syracuse, New York, there's not much manufacturing left. They had a company that made electrical switches and things like that for cars and other types of industries. They just closed their manufacturing plant of 1,400. That was the largest manufacturing plant left in the Syracuse area, and they were paying $20 to $25 an hour jobs. 1,400. That was a huge drop. When I was a kid, they used to have 20,000 people working for General Electric. They had several General Motors and Chrysler plants that did parts, and they probably had another 30 to 40,000. Today, none of those exist. So we're going through a big transformation here in the United States, but people need a job. And it's not just for the money, because people, they want to feel like they're worth something. If they don't have a job, if they don't feel they're doing something, they're not going to be happy people, are they? You want to be productive. You want to be able to say, I'm working, I can pay my rent, I can buy things, I can provide for my family. You want that opportunity, right? That's why we need jobs. I don't think people want welfare. They would much rather have a job. So, anyway, we're hoping that will come about. I had some other stuff, too, on tax cuts. I shouldn't say on tax cuts, but on taxes. Nick mentioned it. All of this stimulus, which right now is probably $2 trillion, and then we probably have about another $500 billion between Iraq, Pakistan, and all the other conflicts that we have going. That's a lot of money. You know what? We used to print the money. I used to run the presses overtime. Now they don't even print the money for inflation. What they do is they sit down at the computer and they transfer billions of dollars. There's nothing to back